Today we are performing the first task in Cognifyz Power BI internship, in which we have to perform data exploration and summary. Objective of this task is understand and summarize key statistics in the dataset. There are 4 steps involved in this task. First, we have to import our dataset into Power BI, and then we have to explore analysis by seeing the structure and data types, and then we have to calculate statistics like compute average age, percentage of individuals at worthiest investment, and common saving objective. And then we have to use a visualization by creating charts for effective visualization for the summary statistics. So let's start our task. Firstly, I'm making the background canvas of the canvas into light gray and then setting its transparency into 50. This is not the most important, or you might be say the constant process that we have to do into Power BI. Generally, I have a habit of using the dark jars, and you might be say dark dashboard with the light background. So that is the reason I'm choosing gray color, light gray color with transparency into 50. And now I'm setting the title of our dashboard using text box, and then typing my title by setting a font size into 32 and by making it underline and into center. Now I'm importing my data using get data and then text.csv, because our data set in the form of CSV file. So we're using text.csv. Our data is in the form of Excel workbook. Then we can use a Excel workbook or Excel data by using a get data tab. Now I'm transforming my data to see the data structure and data type of our data set. Firstly, we can see there is there null values in our columns. As you can see, gender did not have any kind of null value. Same is for age column, it did not have any kind of null value. Investment avenue did not have any null value. Same is for mutual fund, it does not have any value, any null value. And you also can see it by your own by checking into a transform tab and then clicking on your columns. I'm checking the null values in all of our other columns in our dataset, and it has been seen that almost all the columns did not have any kind of null value. You can see there, if you go click on the right side arrow, and you can see change type. Into change type, you can also see the data type using change type into the transform tab, or you can either do it into a data tab of Power BI to see the data type of our dataset. I'm going into my table view, and then I can see the data type of every column in our dataset. Like if you click on the gender, and you can see on the above the name and data type and font of our column name, and you can see that gender has text value, it has number value, investment avenue has text data type, and you can see this by all of the other columns, their data types. And you can see that if the data are in the form of textual data, our data type is a text, and if the data is in the form of number, our data type is whole number. Expect column, it might be that there is a percentage sign, so it is in the form of textual data. So it's all clear now. We can see that there is no null value in dataset, and all the data types of the different data columns are correct. So let's start our analysis. I'm firstly doing the average age in our dataset by using the function of average. And now I wanted to represent my average age by using card visual. And you can see the average age in our dataset is 27.8 or 27.80. Now I'm using a bar chart to see the relationship between what are your saving objective and count of gender. I'm setting count of gender into x-axis and what are your saving objective on y-axis. By using this visual, we can see the relation between saving objective with individuals. Now I represent my data of investment avenue with count of gender. By setting investment avenue into legend and values into count of gender. You can either represent this data into form of visual cards by using a measure. I'm describing to you it by using both ways, either by measure and either by investment avenue. Firstly, I'm finding the measure of investment avenue, yes, so I'm giving the name of our measure into investment avenue, and then using count row and then format. I'm using count row and filter and then our dataset, and then dataset and the name of column, like we're using investment avenue this time, and then setting investment avenue into yes. We can also find the value of investment avenue no by using this, just copying pasting the same measure and replacing yes with no, and changing the measure name into investment avenue no. Or like no investment avenue. Now I represent my data into the form of visual cards. And I am choosing investment avenue yes and investment avenue no for both of these visual cards. and you can see the investment avenue, yes, is 37, and investment no investment avenue has a 3-digit values. And if you represent the same data in the form of a donut chart, the data is same, but just the representation of data is changed. You either can use a visual card, or you can either use the donut chart. It's depend on your own choice. Now for the 7 elements of the investment choices, like debenture, mutual, there are 7 elements in investment choices like debenture, equity mart, fixed deposit, gold, government bonds, PPF, mutual fund. I wanted to represent all of these 7 elements into a single visual, so I'm using a donut chart, and I count that how these investment choices factor influence the individuals by using the sum of debenture, sum of gold, sum of equity mart, sum of fixed deposits, sum of government bonds, and sum of mutual fund, and sum of PPF. I also represent I try to represent this data into form of a table, but it's made a lot of rush, and our my data is not clearly defined that what we are trying to say. I also represent my data into form of a bar chart, or might be a column chart, by using all of these 7 elements into a separate of column charts and then count of gender, but it's make a lot of rush because it made 7 column or bar charts. And you also represent this data into form of like how many if you can see your data into these 7 elements, you can see that the values ranges from 1 to 7. So I wanted to count the how many times 1 appear into these of the 7 elements, and how many 2 appears into these 7 elements. Same is for 3, 4, 5, and 7. And this might be a coincidence that 1 appear 40 times into our data, 2 appear into 40 times into our data, 3 appear 40 times in data. Same is for 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we have also 40 rows in our data set, so I'm not using this data. I'm not using this representation of our data, and also trying to represent that how many 1 appears in the debenture column, how many 2 appears in the debenture column. Same for the 7, but it's make a lot almost 49 of values, and it's make a lot of rush, so I did not use this method to represent my data. So I'm representing my data into form of a donut chart by using the sum of all of in these individual 7 elements. As you can see, we're using the sum function for gold, like sum and then our gold dataset. And now I'm defining the sum function for government bonds. Now defining the measure for mutual funds. Uh, Now defining this measure for PPF. just add a little bit into our column name. Like before that we select total gold, like total government bonds, but I'm choosing total PPF investment. You can change the column name here, but it made a little bit difficulty. So now we're representing our data in the form of a donut chart by all of these 7 elements, all of these 7 ways that we have calculated. And here you can see. Now I just add investment into all of the column names of over these 7 elements, like total equity market investment, total fixed deposit investment, total gold investment, and total mutual fund investment. Now I'm just removing this donut chart for this investment avenue because I described it earlier. Either we can use the donut chart or either we can represent our data in the form of visual card. So I wanted to remain this investment avenue, yes, and investment avenue no visual cards, and I remove the donut chart for investment avenue. So now this is all in our dashboard that we need. Now I made a little bit modification for better representation of these charts and all these visual cards into our dashboard, like changing the size of some charts. And now I am opening the data labels. And I'm changing its column, changing its name into what is receiving objective into saving objective, and count of gender I change it into individuals. And I'm making its data label into inside n. I'm increasing the font size of data labels. And I'm removing the x-axis because we use the data label, so data label represent our data, so we did not need to use the x-axis. And I'm removing the x-axis title because we did not need it. I'm changing the size of our y-axis by increasing it. You can make this modification by your own. You just go into Format tab and then change what you wanted to change. But if you wanted to change the color of this whole dashboard, you can go into View tab and then select the color whichever what you wanted to represent. This is all our first task in which we have to explore data and its summary. First, you have to explore the data structure and data type, and then we have to calculate different kind of calculations, and then we have to represent the individual choices in respect to investment choices and saving objective, and then we have to represent our data into the form of a dashboard. So this is all in our first task that we have to perform in Cognifyz Power BI internship. Thank you.